our colleagues. Our hearts go out to you, as do the hearts of every American who hears your story. I know that grief always feels very alone, but I want to assure you, you're not alone, and you're now recognized to tell your story.
I thank you to the members of the committee for having me. My name is Tammy Nobles. I am the mother of Kayla Hamilton. July 24th, 2002 was one of the best days of my life. I gave birth to a beautiful baby girl and named her Kayla Marie. She was a happy and easygoing baby. Even back then, she loved to smile and laugh. She always kept her friends close and never forgot anyone. She was kind, caring, thoughtful, and funny. She loved life and God. She showed the world that being yourself was okay, and you didn't have to follow everyone else. But sadly, on July 27th, 2022, I received the worst news that a parent doesn't want to hear, that my newly 20-year-old daughter, Kayla Hamilton, was murdered in her own room and left on the floor like trash. She left behind a mother who loved her, a stepfather, a brother, a younger sister, grandparents, and lots of aunts, uncles, and cousins. At first, we knew very little details of the murder until an arrest was made. The details we learned broke us. At the end of March of 2022, Kayla's murderer was apprehended by Border Patrol crossing illegally into the U.S. at the southwest border in Rio Grande City, Texas. I am not sure if he was vetted or not, but he was a 16-year-old known gang member affiliated with MS-13 in El Salvador. The MS-13 motto is kill, rape, and control. He entered the country as an unoccupied alien child. As a UAC, the murderer was allowed to go live with his aunt in Frederick, Maryland. She was also an illegal immigrant. There were issues with him living there, and he went to go live with his half-brother who lived in the same trailer park as Kayla and her boyfriend. My questions are, what protocol was the aunt supposed to follow? If she couldn't handle him, then why not inform the proper authorities? The half-brother tried to get him a job and to do the right thing, but that didn't happen. So the half-brother told him that he had to leave. At the trailer park, an illegal immigrant owned numerous trailers and was subletting them out. That is how Kayla was able to get a place, because she didn't make much and had no credit yet. The half-brother asked the owner if she had any rooms for rent. She did, the same trailer as Kayla. Kayla's murderer was living there less than 5 days before he viciously murdered my daughter. Kayla had 2 jobs. She was working at a cleaning company and at a grocery store. Kayla had autism, but she was determined to live independently and make her way in this world, and my baby paid the ultimate price. She had just gotten home from work, working the night shift, and said goodbye to her boyfriend that morning when he left for work. She then went to sleep. The murderer went into Kayla's room, strangling her, grabbed her iPod charger and wrapped it around her throat and face while strangling her to death. Kayla grabbed her phone and called her boyfriend, but went to voicemail. The voicemail of the murderer strangling her was 2 minutes and 30 seconds long. The murderer then violently sexually assaulted Kayla. Kayla's boyfriend came home from work and found her dead on the floor. The charger cord was so tight around her neck and face that her boyfriend had to use his teeth to get it off. The murderer robbed her of her phone and $6. $6 is all my baby had in cash because she used the snack machines at work to get something to eat. He then went to lunch with his half-brother like nothing happened. Local police didn't have enough evidence to arrest the murderer, so Child Protective Services took him into custody and placed him in an unsecured children's home with other children, even knowing that he was the main suspect in a premeditated murder case. When he was arrested for Kayla's murder, he laughed and smirked. For me, this is not a political issue. This is a safety issue for everyone living in the United States. This could have been anyone's daughter. Kayla wasn't doing anything wrong, and she didn't deserve to be murdered. I don't want any other parent to live the nightmare that I am living. I am her voice now, and I am going to fight with everything I have to get her story told and bring awareness of the issue at the border. I will make sure her memory lives on. Murder itself is already taboo, but then you mention MS-13 and nobody wants to touch it. Nothing will change if nobody talks about the problem. The United States government has to secure our border. We need to properly vet all border crossers. The government could have placed a phone call to authorities in El Salvador and found out that he was a gang member, but they didn't. If we had stricter border policies, my daughter would still be alive today. Nothing will bring my daughter back, nor the pain, nor fix the pain. I'm not having her here, but I want to prevent this from happening to someone else's child. This is about protecting everyone here in the United States.
It's looking more and more like an open border. An illegal immigrant now accused of killing a mother and son while driving drunk, and he had already been deported multiple times before his latest arrest. Alicia Cunha is live in Denver to fill in the missing pieces on this story. Lisa, good morning.
Hi, good morning, Bill. Four times, ICE officials tell Fox News they deported the suspect, Jose Menevar. And if convicted in this deadly crash, it will be his sixth DUI. In a bond hearing yesterday, the judge agreed to a $250,000 cash bond. Witnesses say Menevar was driving about 100 miles an hour when he slammed into the car Melissa Powell and her 16-year-old son Reardon were driving. Menevar is charged with killing them both. Toxicology results show his blood alcohol level was 3 times the legal limit. ICE tells Fox Menevar is from El Salvador and was first removed from this country in 2009. When in the U.S., he has been in and out of jail. Bill, listen to this. 4 days before the deadly accident, he pled guilty to a previous DUI offense. According to court documents, Boulder County Judge Zachary Malkinson sentenced him to probation and work release, even as prosecutors requested a year in jail. In a statement to Fox News, the DA's office says the prosecutor correctly believed the defendant was a danger to the community. Instead, the judge ordered 365 days of work release. The court allowed the defendant to wait out of custody for a bed in the work release program over our office's objection. ICE tells Fox News their records show, quote, the subject has been previously removed and has no regard for immigration law. As part of its routine operations, ICE targets and arrests non-citizens who commit crimes and other individuals who have violated our nation's immigration laws. And Bill, look at this. This is the Colorado Bureau of Investigation's list of Menevar's appearances and his arrests. In addition to DUIs, reckless driving, there's child abuse and domestic violence, and of course, failure to appear in court.
Wow.
He is next scheduled to appear in court on March 12th. Wow. We will be following this.
Yeah, what a loss that is, too. It did not have to be that way. Alicia Cunha, thank you, in Denver, Colorado.
Fox News alert. Authorities in Texas have captured the illegal immigrant who killed 5 people, including a 9-year-old child. Fox News' Kevin Quirk has the latest on this story. Kevin, what can you tell us? We've been following this.
You're right. You and I have been talking about this, Lawrence, and we're just following the latest information that we've just received. Francisco Oropesa, 38-year-old Mexican national who has allegedly killed 5 of his former Texas neighbors. He apparently was out shooting a weapon, being very loud and belligerent, apparently drinking. The neighbors went outside and asked him to stop shooting that weapon. He then, in turn, took his AR-15 and allegedly slaughtered a family of 5, including a 9-year-old boy. We have just received word that that man has been apprehended by law enforcement officials, according to folks in Texas. This is San Jacinto County. According to the DA there, we're going to find out exactly where. I'm imagining that given you are from the Lone Star State, you know where San Jacinto County is, but their DA is a gentleman by the name of Todd Dillon, and he is telling us that authorities are awaiting fingerprints to confirm that the person arrested is, in fact, the 38-year-old Oropesa, who will be charged with first-degree murder. And the FBI, we are being told, is planning a news conference about this case. So clearly, we're going to make a few calls here, Lawrence, and find out exactly what the timing will be for federal officials to get a chance to go ahead and get in front of cameras. But what we know now is that Francisco Oropesa, 38-year-old Mexican national accused of slaughtering a family of 5, including a 9-year-old boy, has apparently been caught by law enforcement authorities in Texas. I should also point this out, my friend. Yesterday, when you and I talked about this, we made mention of the fact that there were more than 250 law enforcement officials and law enforcement agents who were looking for this man. That is a massive manhunt. And when they really get the chance to work not just here domestically, but work with our partners in Mexico, it's not so tough to find someone if they really put the full weight of our law enforcement efforts, and apparently they did, and this man has been apprehended, Lawrence.
Brother, let me tell you something. He did not just kill innocent people. He killed children. And when you want to tick off the law enforcement in the state of Texas, which, by the way, I think people should know, has the death penalty in the state of Texas. And I think there's going to be some conversation. Who's going to take this case? I know U.S. Marshals were involved. The FBI Houston office was involved. The Texas Rangers were involved under the Texas DPS. We're going to learn probably soon who's going to have that jurisdiction. But I can tell you this, if it happened within our jurisdiction and the feds don't want to take this case, they will probably try this man with the death penalty in the state of Texas.
Well, it makes sense. And when you talk about not just slaughtering a family indiscriminately, and listen, we can step away from the politics of the border, which you could certainly make the argument that this person had no right to be here. He'd been deported from our country, I believe, on four separate occasions. So he had no right to be living in the state of Texas. But to go out there and kill an innocent family like that, these are the kinds of people, again, allegedly, and if he is convicted, but this is the type of case, especially in the state of Texas, where it would certainly seem that the death penalty would be warranted, Lawrence.
You know, Kevin, I'm just wondering if Homeland is going to eventually release some information so we can understand how this guy was released back into Mexico 4 different times and able to commute back and forth across the border. And I just have to ask this question because normally people, and there's been reports about the complaints that calls the police about him firing shots before. People typically, just by me being on the crime beat for a while, they don't just escalate to murder. They commit other crimes before that. Do we know anything from the DOJ as well as Homeland Security who have oversight of these deportations, ICE, if he committed any other crimes prior to these murderers?
And that is an excellent question. The short answer I can share at this hour is I'm not certain. However, it certainly bears pointing out that anytime that you're removed from this country, let's just be honest and cut to the chase here. There are millions of people living in this country right now who are not here lawfully, but they're able to stay here. You keep getting sent out, something's probably up. We'll find out more soon.
Yeah. Kevin Cork, excellent reporting. Thanks so much for joining us with the breaking news.